From the heart of the Silicon Valley, welcome to Tech Closeup. I'm Mark Albertson. You know, there's a lot more to technology and science than just new gadgets and great innovations. It's also the incredible people who dream these ideas up, and that is what Tech Closeup is all about. In this month's program, we'll take a ride on the moon, a virtual ride that is, thanks to some enterprising scientists at NASA Ames. We'll look at a major new exhibit that shows all of us how to go green and use innovative conservation technology in our daily lives. And Christina King takes us on a tour of a new public library where the days of old, musty book stacks are now a thing of the past. You know, just driving on local freeways in rush hour is tough enough, but imagine just how hard it might be to travel on an unknown world in zero gravity. Well, that's a problem that confronted scientists at NASA Ames recently, so we decided to join them and their corporate partners for a driver's ed course that's literally out of this world.
Perfect with the LIM and the rover and you and Stone Mountain.
Now, history tells us only a handful of humans ever walked on the moon.
Big Navy salute. Off the ground.
Well, history is in for a virtual change. I'd like to take one small step for a television science reporter.
Sure.
Can you put me on the moon for a moment?
I can. Let me get you a seat.
Take a seat and go for a ride on the moon, virtually for real.
Wow, you can go into orbit.
Almost.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You're watching not just any ordinary video game. In fact, this one's not just for kids. Even the space agency wants to give it a ride. California's VirtuArts poured an encyclopedia of moon data and images into a new kind of video simulation program, one that literally lets you race around the moon.
We have a setup very similar to what you would find in most racing simulations.
It looks like a game.
It looks like a game. The thing is, though, you've got 1/6 gravity, as you can see, as I just wiped out there. We have what's being shown as a game is really a simulated learning experience.
To simulate a moon environment complete with no atmosphere and 1/6 of Earth gravity, you'd think you'd need a supercomputer. But VirtuArts found a way to put the moon on an ordinary laptop computer, and that is no easy task.
The source data to this is over 10 gigabytes uncompressed. So we had to be able to zoom around the moon any location in real time without any hitching, without any loading screens.
That's why engineers at California's NASA Ames think VirtuArts may help them design future moon or even Mars rovers, maybe even help them get the bugs out of those buggies before they ever ride on another world.
And what VirtuArts has been able to do is provide a real high-fidelity simulation that runs on modest computer resources, on a desktop or even a laptop. And that is exceedingly valuable for quick response. So you can sit down and quickly look at designs and see how they work, change things, see how that works.
It's not just for kids. That's the fun thing about it. Our same technology that we're using for this kids game is actually going to be used for astronaut training. So kids will experience the same level of realism that the astronauts will for their mission planning.
And that realism comes from the real thing. VirtuArts built its simulation from streams of images and data sent back by Clementine, a 1994 lunar mission that circled the moon for more than 2 months. Clementine's maps and pictures create the ultimate racetrack on another world.
What we've done is we've taken gaming technology and we've actually simulated the moon based on NASA's data. We've taken the whole surface of the moon that you can run on your PC. You can land anywhere and you can actually see the Apollo missions. You can look at where they landed and look from the moon up to the stars and see what they saw.
It's not just the sights. In low gravity and no air, things behave a lot differently. And that's why VirtuArts may help future astronauts learn what to expect. Future astronauts of all ages.
So you now begin to understand, why am I racing this way? What's happening? Why can't I maintain control? Because you're in 1/6 gravity and there's no atmosphere. And what does that look like? And what is lunar dust? All of that is portrayed within the game experience.
We're seeing, I think, from the video game community, what we call spin-in. What I mean by that, that technologies are advancing for video games that actually have utility for professional engineering. And that's why I got interested in what Virtue Arts was doing.
Now, as NASA prepares for a new generation of manned missions to the Moon, Mars, and beyond, future astronauts may first train for those voyages on a virtual moon ride.
You can actually do things as mission planning. You can start building colonies on the moon. You can start experimenting with the next generation of space stations. You can experience going to Mars. There's no limit to what can be done with this technology.
That training may provide a few surprises, as even Virtue Arts programmers and a certain science and technology reporter found out.
One of the things that really surprised us was exactly how far you could fall and how slowly you could fall. So I could go into Hadley Ryle, which is basically the Grand Canyon of this section of the moon, and I could keep falling for a very long time. Here you have the whole terrain of the moon to explore, and it's just a very fun, almost acrobatic experience.
It may look like fun until you bump a rock or slip on a ridge.
It doesn't respond to my turning.
Because a lot of times your wheels aren't planted on the ground. You don't realize it, but you're usually floating.
At least, that's what a ride on the moon might be like. But the simulation program lets the user modify the planetary physics and turn the moon into Mars or one of the moons of Jupiter or Saturn.
That was one of the primary goals of our physics engine, is to not think in Earth terms, was to allow us to create simulations on any heavenly body.
So far, only a dozen humans have ever walked or driven on another world. Yet NASA wants to send humans back to the moon, but that's going to take a lot of money and a lot of political will. Virtue Arts feels its game simulator may be just what NASA needs to inspire the next giant leap for mankind.
If your kid is sitting at home racing on the moon, building robotics, and saying to mom and dad, you know, mom, dad, I want to be an astronaut, I want to go to the moon, what do you think that's going to do for our political will?
Man, I'll tell you, Indy's never seen a driver like this.
There's a place where a total stranger will give their blood to save your life. There's a place where someone you never knew will save your child from drowning. A place where people will give you food and shelter after a flood. There's a place where, when you need it most, someone will reach out their hand, put it across your shoulder and say, everything's going to be okay. That place is called America, where we look out for each other. And it's up to us to keep it that way. When you help the American Red Cross, you help America.
For some folks, saving for the future is easy, but for you, it might take a little more effort. Save now or work forever. Choose to save.
You know, it might seem that everything you need to know is on the internet, but books are very much alive and well. In fact, the city of San Mateo, California, just opened a brand new kind of library that embraces technology in ways we never thought possible. Here's Christina King with a new chapter in the Library of Today.
It's a place where books practically shelve themselves, and wireless internet is available in every room. This brand new city library is the pride of San Mateo, California.
We only had about 10 public PCs in the old library, and in the new library we have over 100. And on each floor we have quite a bit of technology in terms of access to the internet and our online databases.
The new computers are only a small part of what this high-tech public library has to offer. In fact, just about everywhere you look, technology is changing the way this library operates.
Public libraries are embracing technology. We're on the leading edge, just always embracing what technology can do in terms of providing access to information, helping us do our jobs, and technology is such an important part in everyday life nowadays that any public library needs to be well connected to technology and providing the various examples of what technology can do.
Check out this technology. These books coming along this conveyor belt come from the book drop outside. They ride on the conveyor belt. The machinery actually reads the book, checks it in, but it gets better than that. Because see all these carts? The books are actually sorted and put onto the different carts for the bookshelvers to shelf. It makes it so much easier.
So all we have to do basically is take a cart off, and it's all pre-sorted to whatever area in the library it's supposed to be, and they can just take the cart to where it belongs and shelve it, and it makes it much faster.
And if you really want fast, you can check out your book by yourself in the self-checkout area. You can even use this library from home.
So someone can download a book on tape, have it for 3 weeks, and then the circulation ends automatically. It's not something that even requires someone to come into the library. It can be done virtually online.
Teenagers like the comfortable lounge area built just for them near the library coffee bar. And the large children's center even has its own amphitheater.
If you looked around our children's room as well as our teen lounge, you'll see lots of technology there. Again, lots of PC stations. We are offering that as just the reality that children and teens are very tech savvy, and much of the learning now is certainly we'll always have books and printed materials, but much of the learning that younger generations are exposed to is visual, it's technology oriented, and libraries are just on the forefront of that.
Another feature that sets this library apart from the rest, it houses a first-of-its-kind life sciences biotech learning center. Local biotech firm Genentech gave $2 million for the unique center. Liz Perry is the biotech librarian.
Then we have a bunch of circulating books. It includes new books on sort of the hot topics in biotech. The students are learning about bioethics, they're learning about cloning, they're interested in genetically modified foods, and so the collection is really based around supporting the curriculum in the high schools. A lot of people have been involved, and it's a really exciting opportunity for people to be involved, for people to give back to the community who have benefited from the biotech in the county, and provide this resource for children and other people to really become literate in science and in biotech.
Technology is working from the ceiling all the way down to the floor, where vents circulate cool air from below. And automated windows open and close to keep the library temperatures at a comfortable level. There are features that make this library officially green.
Which means that it'll be energy efficient, it'll be sustainable in many ways. And we're quite proud of that because that is what the community wanted this civic facility to be.
Beautiful redwood trees shade the large building from the heat of the sun. The design and technology combined allow the library to operate 60% of the time without heating or cooling. Energy efficient, and most importantly, user-friendly. It's definitely a high-tech model for libraries across the nation. In San Mateo, California, I'm Christina King for Tech Closeup. Welcome to Fast Forward here on Tech Closeup, the segment where we get to talk about all the latest technology that's coming out in this fast-paced world of ours. And we have a fast-paced Rob Enderle with us, the noted industry expert who always keeps us up to date on these things. Today we're talking about monitors, specifically LCD is what we're really talking about today, no plasmas. And we're going to start with Dell.
Dell. In fact, we're going to look at both monitors and TVs this time around.
Okay, good.
So we're looking at a 20-inch widescreen Dell. What's nice about widescreens is that you can bring up two documents, so you can have your work on one side, the thing you're working off of on the other side. Something like this a few years back cost $3,000. Right now this sells for $450. And look at the workmanship here. The monitor swivels. It's got nice metal stand, not a lot of plastic. It's very, very high-end.
It's sharp looking. I like it.
It's very well done. And just to showcase how inexpensive these panels have become, they're now dropping them into picture frames. So in this particular case, about $250. This particular product, which is by Pan Digital, provides pictures of your kids. You can send it to grandma, have it on your desk.
I want it to change shots so that you
so
can
it shows
see
you
at
the
home.
it shows you the
Isn't
transition.
that great?
Yes,
I just
it does.
think that's so cool. Grandma would
make
love
it do
that.
it. So anyway, so it allows you to pick the pictures and all the rest of it. It's pretty cool. And $250.
A great Christmas present.
Now we move to the other end of the scale.
The TV, the granddaddy here.
This is 37 inches LCD, about $2,100 in your stores. What makes this different? It's all the technology in the world. This puppy is wireless. You plug into power, that's all you have to plug into. Everything else comes over wirelessly, that you can watch different programs. You can put your pictures up here, your videos, even have your music, your iPod-like experience all the way through the device. Really nice speakers. And because it's wireless, you're not pulling a whole lot of cables through the back end. It's what makes it a little bit more expensive. And we probably should talk about the difference between LCDs and plasma.
Yes, because this is LCD, it's not plasma, and for different kinds of settings, different living rooms in your home, you may want a plasma, but you may opt for an LCD. Well, you want to explain that?
Yeah, certainly. If you've got a lot of ambient lights, you've got a lot of light in the room, then you want an LCD, primarily because the LCD puts out a lot more light. If, on the other hand, you've got a very dark room, the plasma has much deeper black. So if you can really darken the room down, the plasma will really pop in a black room.
So
most folks live in a kind of light room, so they're going to want LCDs.
Right, unless you have your own dark home theater in the basement kind of thing.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice?
It would
So
be.
now moving all the way around to just give you a sense for the price. This is the 27-inch ViewSonic. This product you can actually buy for around $700. This is your basic TV, not wireless. Everything's wired. I've actually removed the panels on the back and side here to show you the input. The bottom here, it's got HDMI, which is your high definition input. On the side, you've got all your inputs for your audio and the different video inputs. So you get a very capable monitor for about $700. And I mean, realize a few years back, a 27-inch regular CRT monitor would probably cost more than this.
Oh yeah, I don't even want to tell you what I paid. Yeah. So can I have this when you're done with it?
No, this goes in my bedroom. This is my monitor.
But one thing I like about LCD is, like you mentioned, the fact that it's in a richer picture. I would go for LCD even if I did have a dark basement because I like the picture better. It's kind of a personal preference.
It really is. For a lot of folks, it is a personal preference. And whenever you're shopping for one of these things, it's good to see them all at once. So you go to a store where they've got them lined up and then look at one after the other. You know, one of the displays that's worth seeing, it's a plasma in this particular case. Philips makes a display. It's called the Ambilight. It actually takes the light from the front, broadcasts it in the back, makes the picture incredibly bright. It's amazing, an amazing technology. It adds about $300 to the cost of the monitor, but it's something we're seeing.
Well, hey, as much TV as we watch sometimes, we might as well just go for it.
Get something that's, you spend the extra money, yes.
Well, Rob, thank you. It's been fun and educational. And as always, if you want to find out any more about LCD, monitors, TVs, anything you'd like to look into here on Tech Closeup, just go to our website. It's so easy, techcloseup.com.
This is firstgov.gov.
Brand new student loan applications on the site, baby. This calls for a celebration.
Where we're obsessed with getting you government information.
What are those?
Government surplus cars for auction.
You posted those online last time.
No, you did.
I'm posting them online this time.
Just log on or email us and get what you need. firstgov.gov.
Whenever there's new innovations or revolutionary technologies, chances are they've got something to do with the Silicon Valley. And that is what Tech Closeup is all about.
Tech Closeup is about even more than just bites and chips. We cover the people in your community. We're all over the Bay Area. To find Tech Closeup where you live, just go to our website at techcloseup.com.
You know, sometimes we get so caught up in this high-tech world of ours that we lose sight of the big picture. 5 billion people around the world using up available resources at an astounding rate. Well, that's why the Tech Museum of Innovation here in San Jose opened this major new exhibit that examines how new technologies make a big difference in resource conservation. Come on in and take a look. And nobody knows more about this conservation exhibit than Peter Fries, the president of the Tech Museum of San Jose. Hello, Peter. It's nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
This is quite an exhibit. What is the whole purpose of this?
You know, we want to try to explain young people that there are different sources of energy which could actually replace the way we run nowadays our world, our houses, our economy with fuel.
No more. So there are no fossil fuels in here.
There's no fossil fuels in here. We're talking here about light. We're talking about wind. We're talking about water energy. We're talking all these different new ways in generating energy for our daily life.
And these are practical ways of doing things.
Oh yeah, you see it here on the Segway. I use it for coming and going to work, and it costs me about 2 cents a day to run it.
That certainly saves you a little bit of money.
Oh, it does, and I power it with solar energy, so it's really cheap.
I see this little exhibit over here with these, looks like 2 ramps of cars. Tell me all about what this is.
Oh, this is a new way of storing energy in so-called supercapacitors. And it's in industry right now, a big challenge to develop them more in details that you can run really even cars with it. So it's not really batteries, it's capacitors, but they're called supercapacitors. And I think I challenge you now.
You're going to challenge me?
Well, let's see.
Oh, okay. Tell me what I have to do.
So what we do with this crank is you wind up, you charge the supercapacitor, and you have a little indicator here how much energy is on the supercapacitor. Once the bar is on the top, the car will run. Who is first of us going to win?
Well, since you're the president, is it assumed you're going to win?
No. I know the first time I always win, but the second time I'm losing.
All right, we're going to try. Here we go.
You did it.
So I get free admission.
You get free admission for the weekend.
Well, let's segue, if you will, into this other segment here. Now, this is all very interesting. What are we looking at here?
Oh, this is a segment of our exhibition where really teams can develop energy. And you see the lights coming up here on the tower, on our energy tower. So when the teams play against each other, the game is how high can we raise the bars? So you can start first and playing with me here on a solar panel. So if you go on the other side, and I'll stay here.
So we're going to be shining lights at a solar collector.
Yeah, we're shining lights. So
and we're trying to power a city?
We try it. You try to power the high-rise building, and I try to
these are
power
magnetic,
this little house. This is all magnetic, and these are mirrors. So the light which comes from one of our light bulbs up there.
I'm able to shine it on there. So the goal is to shine as many as possible.
As many as possible.
And get as much power going into the...
Yeah, and you have an indicator, you get already 0.57 volts.
Now, I see over here, it looks like wind power.
And the shape of the propeller makes a difference.
It does?
It does.
So it's not just having any kind of blade?
No, let's say, put the blades like this. Put it back here. Now the wind comes. And it's not moving.
And even, is it because not just the shape of the blade, but the position of the blade?
It's the position and the shape of the blades. So if we turn the blades now into the right position,
we're generating wind power now.
And now we have, and it's not perfect, it's just in the lower end. So if you take different blades and if you position them right, you get much more energy out of them. And that's what we teach people here, and they can do it themselves.
So I'm hearing gurgling here, so this is obviously the third kind of alternative energy. Yeah. And I notice it's all propellers, obviously.
Yeah,
and
it's
the
like
shape makes the same difference?
It's the same thing. It's like you have a river. The water comes down through those tunnels, so you can try this here. Somebody has taken off the knob here yesterday, but we use this one. So the water comes out.
So valve the water in.
And you make 150, 165 RPM. I drive a hybrid car, and when I push the brake really hard in front of a traffic light, I generate about 50 watt of energy in a very small amount of time. So 50 watt means I run a light bulb with 50 watts for an hour. If you take an efficiency energy bulb, you run it at least for 4 hours. So here the experiment shows you what you do when you go with your car. The electrical motor drives the wheel. Once you push the brake, you generate energy and recharge the battery in the car.
Do you think the day is going to come when we won't need a gas station to drive our cars?
I think we're getting very close to that. So my car I drive right now makes about 55 to 60 miles per gallon. The next model already promises 100 miles per gallon, and the Tesla car, which was here invented in California and is on the market now, very soon on the market, he's only running on batteries, so he doesn't need any gas anymore. Just compare. A electrical motor has 3 parts. A normal gas motor has about 350 parts. So that's a lot of weight you have to carry, and in the future you don't have to do that. There's no service anymore. There's no gears anymore. So it's a very, very nice, clean, and small technologies used in future cars.
I hear what is called a no-brainer.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer, yeah.
What does an exhibit like this do? I mean, is this just public relations, or does this accomplish something?
No, it accomplishes a lot. We are not here for PR. I think we teach real science, and we try to help people to learn better ways to use technology in our all days life. So what we try to accomplish here is we try to show to everybody how a solar panel works, how water energy works, how wind turbines work, and how these kind of new ways generating energy will have an impact in our daily life.
Is there a way that you can gauge whether you're having an impact?
My old saying is, if one person comes up in 25 years and winning a Nobel Prize and saying, my career started at the tech, I think then we have accomplished what I would like to accomplish.
Peter Fries, it's a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
And I hope that our alternative energies will have some kind of an influence on the tech and vice versa.
Thank you.
Thank
Goodbye.
you very much. Bye-bye. There's always a lot going on in the world of high technology, and it certainly keeps us busy. Well, you can keep up too. You can get a complete listing of where and when to find our program on our website, techcloseup.com. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mark Levinson. And remember, if you want to stay close to new technologies and the incredible people who dream them up, well, then join us next time for another edition of Tech Closeup.